Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm Brandon. I am the founder and president of Seeds of Wisdom. We mentor middle school and high school boys in the Columbia, South Carolina area. And I have a great guest I want to introduce you today. But before I do that, I want to tell you more about Seeds of Wisdom. We have 4 core values that we focus on, that we teach our young men. We use the acronym IDEA. I is for integrity, D is for discipline, E is for education, and A is for ambition. And so our special guest today is going to kind of walk you through some of his life experiences and some things in his career that he's been able to see these core values emerge. So I want to introduce to you today, Oshwand Scott. And why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Matt, first of all, I want to thank you for having me on the show. Like I told you before, this is my second interview ever, and when you asked me to do it, I couldn't turn it down. And so, my name is Oshwand. Right now, I'm a sports agent for the NBA, and I also do player management for the NFL. And so, small town kid from Timminsville, South Carolina, probably never heard of it. Ended up going to USC where I met Brandon, and from there, I went to law school in Charlotte and transferred to Charleston School of Law, where I graduated from there. And so from there, I began being a sports agent, which is what I am now. So I'm just glad to have the opportunity to be on and talk to the youth.
Yeah, man, we definitely appreciate it, because it's guys like us who have who recently got into our career, and I say recently, within the last
Recently,
years.
yeah,
Yeah, it's still recent. We don't have that much experience, but we got experience,
right,
and so we have
right,
a lot that we can share with these younger guys who might have interest in certain areas. And so
sure.
we'll start with just the first core value of integrity. So we define that as, basically always doing the right thing, no matter who's watching or if nobody will ever find out. You're just doing the right thing because it's the right thing. So
Right.
can you talk about how that has, surfaced in your life and in your career?
Oh yeah. So my when it comes to integrity, I think about like core values that your family has instilled in you, and I'm just blessed to have like both sides of my family being able to empower me and me thinking like when I'm gonna do something wrong, I'm thinking like, oh, they're not gonna like that, or this ain't the right thing to do. So it's all about having the right morals, like just being able to be a genuine person, knowing like doing the right thing when, like you said, when nobody's watching. So that's what I kind of pride my integrity in, like my family values, like what they taught me and teach me how to treat people right, pretty much, and to be genuine.
I like that. I like that connection you just made, because it wasn't just something you think about in isolation, where you're just like, oh, I just do it just to do it. Like, now I think about my family, because
Right.
guys, I want y'all to, who are watching right now, I want y'all to think about this. Like, things that you do, your behavior, your integrity, like you represent your family. Think about your
It reflects them, right?
right.
Right.
Think about your first name. Like, what if you have a first name that is passed down from your family? Or you think about your last name. Like, when people hear your last name, you're
Right.
representing your parents, your family, your
Right.
neighbor, your community. And so I love the fact that you made that connection to your family and those values.
For sure.
And so our next core value, I should say, is discipline. So we talk about, being able to overcome, avoid distractions, overcome temptations. What does that mean to you?
Man, in my life, discipline brings structure from what I've learned over my life. Being able to be in situations that should distract you and not being distracted is really a skill, pretty much. Like I said, and I think it goes back to knowing yourself, like knowing your temptations, knowing what gets you out of character, and being disciplined enough to keep yourself out of those situations. So, like I'll go back to law school, like how we were talking, like I really and undergrad even too. I really had to be disciplined because in high school I didn't I was smart, so I didn't really push myself. Like it was kind of easy, but I had to become disciplined in college and law school because I almost failed out. I was trying that same high school stuff and trying to bring it to college or law school, and it wasn't working. Like it's a different level that you got to get to. So I had to say, listen, all the other stuff you're trying to do, no. Like we got to sit down, we got to buckle down, like and be disciplined. And so and I tell the players I represent, like it's a difference between routine and commitment, right? Like so routine is just something like you're doing just because like but when you're committed to something and when you're disciplined, like that you're dedicated to getting to that end goal. So discipline for me, discipline is important. it goes back to knowing your end goal and knowing what path you have to stay on to get to that point.
Man, I need to be taking like pages of notes right now.
No,
That's
trust
good
me.
stuff, man.
Trust me.
Yeah, and what I was lit when you were talking, I was just like, man, like the difference between routine and commitment. You also talk about like knowing yourself, and I
Right.
want you to talk about that like a little bit more. Talk about law school because some people know about law school on the surface level of like, oh, you go to law school, you want to become an attorney. Can you just talk about maybe some of the people that you met who influenced you, maybe some of the experiences you had that were like really positive that helped you kind of get more motivated to do what you want to do?
Man, like I told you, I'll tell you what really helped me through law school. So while I was in law school, I was coaching AAU at the time, and so I would be on the trips, the AAU trips, and I would have my laptop, be doing homework or whatever, like before the game, while all the kids would see me, and they would be like, "Man, that's dope! Like you really out here? Like we in Florida, New York, like all these places, and they're having fun. And I'm just at the laptop, like doing homework, doing exams, doing finals, and to see that they were pushing me, they were molding me. I knew I couldn't fail. Like I told you, I almost failed out of law school twice. I almost failed out of undergrad, but it was that discipline. It was that I can't let these kids down. I can't let these kids back at home down. They have never seen anybody go to law school for real from my hometown. So that kind of pushed me into being more like I can't fail because of them. Like how can I tell them what to do and I'm not? How can I tell them to get their work done and I'm not doing it myself? So and law school was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I'll say that. Like it was mentally draining, but it also built my mental toughness, if that makes sense. Like I was stressed, I was worried, but at the same time, in a weird way, it kind of works. It builds your mental toughness. So right now, like it's hard to kind of break my mentality because of law school. So
Man, that's such a great example. And the fact that you could be resilient, be determined, and not quit.
right.
And guys, as y'all listen to him, I want y'all to understand that we're not saying that this is going to be easy, whatever your goals are in life and
No,
things you
it's
want to
not.
do. But like, if you have that discipline, you stay focused and like, I cannot quit. And I got people watching me. I got people that I'm inspiring and motivating. But also I have people who are encouraging me to keep doing what I'm doing. And those are the right people to have in your life. So if you got those people who are motivating you, who are always telling you, hey, man, we got homework, man, we got to do this before the game, or after the game, we got to make sure we get our quiz done, whatever it is that you got to do, people who are pushing you towards that, those are the ones you need to be with. People that are pulling you away from that, those are the ones you need to get away from and get away from fast, because they're going to take you to a place where they're going to leave you and you're going to be in a place you never wanted to be in.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, man. And that goes right into our next one with education. I always tell our guys when we do we do mentoring sessions twice a month.
Right.
We do whole group sessions. And then we also have a group of mentors. And with our mentors, they have a small group of mentees that they'll check in with from time to time throughout the week when we don't
That's
meet.
dope.
Yeah, man, we're getting better every year. We're growing. I'm excited about it. And I always tell them, I'm an educator, right? I've been an educator for 9 years. I'm getting ready to start year 10. So I was a high school English teacher. I was assistant varsity boys basketball coach for 3 years. I did student council. I was a high school assistant principal. I'm now a district administrator.
You my role model, man.
Man, I appreciate it, man. I'm a humble guy, man. I appreciate it, but I never like being in the spotlight, to be honest. I like doing that behind the scenes work and just getting it done. Because when I see my organization succeed,
right? Listen, you deserve the credit, man. I understand you being humble, but I'll brag for you. You definitely deserve the credit. What you're doing for the youth is definitely dope.
I appreciate it, man. It's hard work, but it's always nice when you get a pat on the back. But I just I tell people like I do it for the kids,
the next generation,
because I try to be what I wish I had as a young man, and I did have a little bit, but I want what I feel like I wish I would have. I want to give y'all all that if I can.
Listen, me and this lady I work for, we had a conversation, and she said something to me that I was like, I never thought about it like this. She said, so I came from like 1A high school, small 1A high school, right? Mm-hmm. And so she said her high school did everything they could for her, but they didn't have the access to show her like what she really needed. Like, so like people will say like my high school teacher didn't teach me anything. but they probably didn't. Probably didn't have the access in high school to actually learn it. So man, so it like
that's a great point, because your school and your school community, they can only give you as much as they have.
As much as they have, right? Exactly.
And so it may not be that they're withholding stuff from you, but it's like, what are the resources that are available? And if they're limited resources, that's why it's important. And like things that we want to do in Seeds of Wisdom that we have done and things we want to do is like expose them to people like you.
which is what exactly.
Yeah. So guys that are watching right now, like that's what we're doing. You might have thought, well, I've never seen a black man I know that went to law school and finished. I've never seen a black man who's
I'm the first in my town. That's like, so I want to be that thing that kids say, oh, like he did it, so I can do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to be that person. Like, I don't care about the accolades or none of that. I just want to be motivation to that young child that says, oh, I can go to law school. I want to be a lawyer because he did it.
Right.
Or not even because I did it, but they know that it can be done because I did it and I look like them.
So, yeah, that's the thing, man. Like we got to understand people. So young men of color, like your background, and you might think, well, I've never seen somebody. There's somebody out there somewhere. And I'm trying to bring these guys to y'all because I want you to know they do exist. I got them in my phone. I got them on my Instagram, like people that I know, spend some time with. So but I want to talk about this one thing real quick with education. I always tell my guys, like, don't ever give me that whole, my teacher gave me, my teacher, she did this, she did that, or he did this, he did that. Because I used to tell my kids, my students that I taught, when you turn in your assignments, I'm grading your work based on the rubric.
Right.
I'm not giving you anything. That's what you earn. So like, you understand that, and you think about like, this is not for my parents. This is not for my teacher. Like my education is for me and what I want to do with my life. So can you just talk about, like, you did a little bit. What does education really mean to you now versus maybe what it meant to you back when you were in high school?
So I was raised by my grandparents, right? And so my granddad never finished high school. And so him, along with my grandmother, who I don't know what happened. She had some kind of, I don't know, but she decided to go back to high school. She was like 50, 60. So, you know what I'm saying? Like just knowing how important education was to them. But also, so I live by this principle right here. And this is in everything I do. Like I chase the knowledge and not the money, because they can always take the money from you. But if you know what you know, and if you're confident in what you know, you always know how to go back and get the money or whatnot. But see, nowadays kids think is lame to be smart. Like I don't know where they get this from. Like they think if I'm smart, people won't like me, people will joke at me or whatnot. And so another one of the values I live by is what you were kind of like what you were talking about earlier is, for me in my life, education led to exposure, meaning, and then exposure led to expansion. So through my educational journey, I met a lot of people, built a lot of relationships, and it exposed me to different kinds of people. Like, and so from those people that I met, I took little tidbits from here, there, this, that, and I added it to my life, and it led to expansion, which means pretty much, okay, now I know I can do this. I can take this route and get to this place. Or I can take this route and get to that place. Pretty much give like stuff I would have never had access to had I not went the educational route or took education seriously. That it kind of helped me in that aspect. So,
man, I hope y'all know that this man is spitting fire right now. Like that, he just said exposure and expansion. Like, oh man, like I'm over here just like, whoa, like it blew my mind because it's so true. Because you get exposed to things you never thought you would have wanted in your life,
right?
You never thought you would be,
right?
And then you get around people of influence, and you're like, man, like y'all really doing it, like
y'all doing this, and you start asking questions. How did you do that? And they tell you. Now you know. So now you can help, somebody from that wouldn't normally have had that information. Now you can share it with them, and you can help them succeed. So,
yeah, and like education is, y'all, we want y'all to understand, education is not just about books, quizzes, and tests and papers. Like, it's bigger than that. Like, be a lifelong learner who wants to be successful. Like, you're always going to learn things. I was talking to one of our other interviewees, and he's a doctor. He was talking about every 10 years, doctors have to take an exam to stay certified.
Right, exactly.
I mean, no matter what you do, I'm in education, we have to recertify every 5 years. Like there's always going to be continuing education. So you can't say like, oh man, I'm out of school, I'm done. No, if you're out of school and you're done, whatever career or field you're in, you're going to fall behind because people are going to be doing better than you, doing more than you.
Exactly.
Because they have more, they practice more, they've learned more, they have more talent, they develop their talent. So know that when you have education as a principle in your life, so we talk about integrity, discipline, now we're on education, our third core value. Like this is about lifelong learning. It's not just about a grade your teacher gave you, because they didn't just give you a grade. What kind of product did you turn in? Right.
Exactly.
You turning your paint all torn up and balled up and got stains on. Like, no,
you give lazy work but want an A+. No.
Right. It don't work that way, right?
Nope.
So yeah, thank you for sharing that. And we're getting to our last core value, which is ambition, right? We think about ambition. We want you to have a vision for your life, and maybe the kind of life you want to have, and maybe if you want to have a family, how you want to support your family one day, right? But you can't just have a vision and not set any goals. So we talk about with ambition, having vision, but also aligning that with strategic goals. So what does that mean for you in your life and in your career?
Man, anybody who knows me, they know my least favorite word in the English. My least favorite word in the English dictionary is the word potential. I hate it, especially when people say you have potential to do something you can do today. So, like, for example, like I can be like, Brandon, you laying on the couch. Brandon has potential to take out the trash today. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't doing it. People mix potential with lazy. No, you just lazy. Not like you can get up and take the trash out right now. You know what I'm saying? So people tend to mix up the words potential and lazy. And so with me, ambition is all about knowing why you're doing something. Like knowing like this your why. I know everybody's heard before, knowing your why, like whether it's your family, whether it's you have a child, whether it's, to prove the doubters wrong. I don't know, whatever it is to you. So, and also it's important to know like success is all about perception. Like what success is to me isn't what it is to you, isn't what it is to somebody, wherever. So it's all about knowing what success is to you and doing what it takes to get to that point. And it could happen in 10 seconds. It could happen in 10 years. Like we were just talking about before, like we're really just getting into like what our calling is. Like we're starting to understand, and we're 30. I don't know if you're 30. I'm 30. I feel like I'm 40.
Yeah, I'm 31.
Right. So yeah. So we're really just like getting the hang of this thing called life. And so pretty much we're figuring it out. So success for you, it could happen in 10 seconds, but for somebody else, it could happen in 10 years. So whatever you're doing, stay the course. If you're passionate about it, keep doing it. And just know that if you stay the course, you'll eventually get what you're looking for.
Man, I really like the example you just gave about being on the couch and saying like, oh, he has potential to do this.
Right.
Man, that's so true. I never thought about it like that as far as
like
being lazy.
I deal with a lot with basketball players, right? They'll say, oh, he has the potential to, you know what I'm saying? Just if he goes and dunks the ball every time, he'll like if I tell you go dunk the ball every time and you'll make it to the NBA, right?
Right.
But he got potential to make it to the NBA, but he just don't dunk the ball every time. But you 7 foot, you can just go dunk the ball every time. Like that's just being lazy. Like you know what I'm saying? Like especially when I've told you, like that's just being lazy. So people mix potential and lazy. Like I hate the word potential, especially like now if you're a 7-year-old and people say, "Oh, you got potential to be great when he's older," that's different. But if people telling you got potential to do something you can do now, that's their way of telling you you're being lazy. Like get up and do it.
Oh man, I like that. I just thought about it like this while you were saying it. If you got the potential, right? So the 7-year-old doesn't have the ability yet, but if he keeps doing what he's going to do.
If he keeps going, he'll get there.
But the 17-year-old who we know can do it, and
we know can dunk every time, who's not doing it, you're being lazy.
Oh, that's not. Oh man, that's good. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, because you got the ability. I've seen you do it.
You can do it now. Right.
You can do it right now, but you're not doing it. Yeah,
right.
Man,
that's lazy. That's not potential.
That's a gem right there. You dropped the gem. Yeah, I mean that's really good. And so, man, it's such a pleasure to have you on this interview, man.
I appreciate you.
Having our guys like learn from some of the greats. And like y'all, this is homegrown South Carolina. Like he said, Timmonsville. I grew up in Aiken, South Carolina. I'm from Aiken.
Oh yeah.
We met at USC Aiken, right?
Yep.
I live in Columbia now, but it's like this is South Carolina's best. Like I ain't being humble right now because we put in a lot of work, right? We're
Oh
some of
yeah,
South Carolina's
definitely,
best. And we're
definitely.
trying to give back to y'all so y'all can overcome some of those obstacles that maybe we've already had to overcome. You can avoid it because we're telling you how to get. That's what wisdom is, right?
That's what it is.
Sharing it with the younger generation, some things that we've already learned through experience and through time that can help you have an advantage.
And
It's
Brad,
whether you use it.
and I'll say this: like kids these days, they get wisdom misconstrued with hate. Like you hating on me. Like when you try to tell them, like, listen, I've been through this before. Like you might need to take this route. Well, you hating on me. You don't what you like. So like it's important to understand when somebody's in your life to give you wisdom. Like it's not hate. Nobody's hating on you. Nobody's critiquing you. Nobody's trying to stop what you're doing. Like people like Brandon and people in this organization, they're out to help the youth. Like so, don't look at it as hate or whatever, or them trying to tell you what to do, how to live your life. It's just wisdom. Like it's just them giving the things that they've learned and giving it to you guys.
Man, I appreciate that. And as we wrap up, man, Seeds of Wisdom, if y'all have noticed, our logo, we have a fully developed and mature tree. And so when we talk about Seeds of Wisdom, we're talking about planting those seeds. We're talking about the integrity, the discipline, the education, and the ambition, right? If you let those seeds take root and you let us help nourish those seeds and they take root and they grow, that's why our conference theme this year is stand tall and stand firm. Once that seed gets the nourishment it needs and it starts, you get those strong roots and you're standing tall, like you're good no matter what comes your way. Like Oshwand just said about law school, he could have said like, well, I'm about to fail, I'm gonna quit. Right. But no, it's like, look, I got to get this done. I have a motivating factor. I want to do this for me. I want to do it for my family. I want to do it for my town. I want to help these athletes. So I have a passion for that. And so he stood tall and he stood firm and he didn't let those challenges and that adversity knock him down. So I just want to ask you before we go, like, what does that mean to you, our conference theme this year? It's our third conference, third year. What does it mean to you for standing tall and standing firm?
Man, it goes back to the core values. Just believing in yourself, even when other people don't believe in you, even when people tell you that you can't do something. Like it's like I told you I was gonna start a mentoring program. Now I actually give you the name of it now. And it speaks to this what we're talking about. So it's a wordplay off the word impossible. So like I said, success is all about perception. So when people see the word impossible, I don't see it. I see the word I'm possible. So it's basically me saying like, I know everybody says this is impossible, right? But I know me, I know the God I believe in, I know my core values, I know what my family's taught me, I know what I learned through education, integrity, all that stuff. And so I don't care what you tell me is impossible. I'm gonna find a way to get it done. Because like I know who I am. I'm possible. So that's kind of what I think about when I think about the theme for this year. Just being yourself, standing tall, like being confident in who you are, and knowing that if you do the right things, if you take advice and apply it to your life, that you'll get the things you want.
Yeah, man, that's so good. And even me as being a mentor for Seeds of Wisdom, and you're a mentor for the guys that you coach, you have coached, the athletes you may have, and it's like, but also understand, y'all, no matter what level you get to in life, everybody still uses a mentor, needs a mentor.
Man, I have one.
Yeah.
Right.
I got plenty. I got some core mentors that like I know I reach out to for this or for that. And like you just got to know. But here's the thing too, I want y'all to understand with mentoring. Don't always let it be a one-way relationship. And what I mean by that is don't just pull. Ask your mentor, like, what can I do to help you?
I learn from my kids. They teach me things all the time. Like the kids I coach, like they teach me things all the time. And so, and it's important for the mentors not to be too high and think, I can't learn from this 10-year-old. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's important to know that you can learn from anybody at any time, no matter how old they are.
So true, man. So true. Well, man, thank you again for your time. I really appreciate it. I learned a lot from you today, man. And I hope our guys also have learned a lot from you too, that, man, you can be resilient, you can be determined, you can be just motivated. And so we talked about, once again, I can't say it enough. I always do this. with our core values, because they're just that important. When you have core values,
Definitely.
you can't just be shaken. That's how you stand tall and stand firm.
Structure. Yep.
The structure, man. So just thank you again. I appreciate it. And we'll definitely talk soon.
Man, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me.